Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Army of Snarkness. My name, of course, is Antoine the Great, and I am joined by my... God fucking damn it.
What's your problem this time?
In the middle of my intro, I get a text of why the trio isn't here.
Why aren't they here this time?
No. I'm going to finish doing the intro. And then I'll explain why the trio isn't here. So, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Army of Snarkness. My name, of course, is Antoine the Great. I've been joined by my wonderful co-host. If you thought Death rode a white horse, you'd be wrong. She actually drives a Shelby. On top of that, she plays one fucking mean guitar solo. The last rider of the apocalypse, Death. How's it going, Sarah?
It's going alright. How about you? Where are the trio?
So, I got a text. Apparently, they went out for Taiwanese. And since there are not enough Taiwanese people out here around us in the hideout, they had to go elsewhere. So they're on the hunt. They said they know that the show is going on. They're not sure if they're going to make it back in time.
Oh. Well, lovely. I guess you get to try and be entertaining, and I get to sit here and poke fun at you. Hello, Mercedes Murillo. How are you?
Let's see who we have. We have Kaduntress is in chat. Mercedes, Mitzi, Ali.
Why are you yelling so much tonight?
I'm not yelling.
You're yelling.
I'm not yelling. And Zar?
Hello, Zor. Zor, we shame you for existing. It has nothing to do with your race.
So, alright.
See, I'm not the only one who thinks that you're being very loud.
No, he says the Taiwanese family is very loud.
Well, he's yelling for you. You're yelling so he can hear you over them.
Moxley is here. How's it going, Moxley?
Hello, Moxley. Long time no see. How have you been? Have you grown more than 5 inches? Are you 6 inches now?
And Zero Gold here as well. Well, we have a full house, it looks like.
Hello, Zero Gold.
The only one we're missing, of course, is the legendary Ben Cooper. Since I have What?
I said, don't worry about it. If you'd stop interrupting me. Once he finds out you're reading the book, he'll show up. It's like saying Bloody Mary in the mirror 3 times in the dark.
That's true. Hello, Mr. Sutherland. Yes.
Fun fact, I actually know Bloody Mary. She's psychotic.
Aren't you fucking fancy?
I am fucking fancy. That's why you keep me around.
Do what Ali says. Go ahead and hit that. Sorry, not what Ali says. Do what Mercedes says and smash that like button. How's it going, Samoj? I guess we kind of summoned Samoj. I didn't know that was possible.
Now, is this the legendary artist you've told me about?
Yes, he's a very good artist. But there's a catch with his artistry.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really draw men. He draws women, and they're always lewd.
Ah.
So, I've summoned him here because I want him to draw you.
No.
Why not?
Because you don't need a lewd drawing, and I don't trust that you won't spread it around the internet.
Of course I'd spread it around the internet.
Exactly, I don't want it spread around the internet.
Everyone else... See? Mercedes wants it spread around the internet.
I don't care.
I think there's a crush.
Why?
I don't know. She just wants to see it. She really, really, really wants to see that. No, Samaj, you do not need her consent. We've already discussed this. I told you she was going to say no. You just got to do it anyway.
I'm going to hurt you.
Why?
Because you know me better than that.
it's opposite day. So no means yes, and yes means no.
How did that feel?
Ow.
So that meant it felt good. Let me do it again. Come here.
All right. Oh, let me just fix my nose here. Is that better?
You're still a little crooked. It needs to come down just a little bit more.
A little bit more. All right. What about that?
There you go.
All right.
It's all adorable and pug-nosed now.
What? I'll be right back. I have to go fix this because someone decided they needed to hit me with a book.
You're lucky that's all I hit you with. If I hit you with my fist, it would hurt more. So, how is everybody?
There.
It was fine before. I was messing with you.
No, it actually looked like a pug nose. All flat, like the pig. Alright. So, this is, as you could tell by the name of the stream, it's not that kind of cringe.
Because you hate us.
I do hate you. I hate you all so much.
I didn't throw a book, Mr. Sutherland. I just picked one up and smashed him in the face with it. And yes, it was actually a good book. I will be reading it while he is reading a horrible book.
It's not necessarily a book. It's more of a stream of consciousness.
It's still horrible.
So, we are almost halfway through, and I have Ben Cooper to thank for this book, and you all can thank him too for having to listen to this book.
Someone message Ben Cooper and let him know what's going on Twitter.
It is Not That Kind of Girl from Lena Dunham. We all know this already. It's a stream of consciousness. It's nothing to do with what a young woman tells you she learned. It's all garbage. So, I'm going to read a chapter, and then Sarah has something that she is definitely going to enjoy.
I selected this purposely for you, Antoine.
Oh, no.
You're going to love it. I even got War and Plague to help me make the decision.
Look, Plague finally understood that it was a compliment and took the computer virus away.
Yes, I know. This is just to mess with you. She enjoys that.
All right. Yeah, the rabbit hole just keeps getting bigger. All right, so if you remember, we're talking about, in this section, we're talking about Lena Dunham's body, and I know how fun and wonderful that is for everyone. So now we get to talk about Lena Dunham's special parts. Because this chapter is titled, Who Moved My Uterus?
Hopefully someone removed it.
And there's a lovely picture that says the female reproductive system. And it's labeled completely wrong. There's Leave Me Alone Mountain, Seaman Falls, Temple of Angst, Space to Dream. She got her labia labeled correctly. Her ovaries are labeled FDA approved organic, because that's gross. And then one of her fallopian tubes is titled Actually Pay Attention to Me Hilltop. This is where we're going.
Why are you doing this to us?
I'm not. Ben Cooper did this to you.
I'm going to go and collect his soul in a little while, if you don't mind. And even if you do mind, I'm still going to go and do it.
Alright, let's get started. The sooner we get this over with, the sooner I can burn this piece of garbage.
I think this is one book that I think that Ishtar will allow you to burn.
I've always known there was something wrong with my uterus. Yes, it's functioning.
It's attached to her.
It allows her to breed. It was just a feeling, really, a sense that things were not quite right down there. The entire system, at a young age, 4 or 5, I would often approach my mother with a complaint of stinging in my area. Oh, how's it going, Doc? You just walked into Not That Kind of Girl. I'm reading Cringe.
Hello, Doc Griffin.
It's Lena Dunham talking about her vagina. I hope you enjoy.
Run now.
Her cure-all was Vaseline, which she applied with a scientific distance. Remember to wipe well, she reminded me, but I swore that wasn't it. I appreciated that she never used embarrassing pet names when it came to my private parts, unlike some other girls whose mothers said Pinky or Chachi. In middle school, as my body prepared to menstruate for the first time... Oh God, Ben is in the chat. Someone told him. How's it going, Ben? You bastard.
Ben, I'm going to kill you. It's been very nice knowing you, but I'm going to kill you.
Poor Lena's vag. It wasn't even safe from Lena. That's very true. In middle school, as my body prepared to menstruate for the first time, I could feel an electric current, an energy that felt wrong. Intersecting lines of pain traveling through my pelvis and lower abdomen. I got my first period for the first time the summer before 9th grade. And that fall I took a dance class with my friend Sophie, whose mother was French and therefore encouraged ballet as exercise. Every Tuesday we would take the train to Park Slope to spend 90 minutes with an instructor named Yvette, whose mane of flash dance hair, bell-sleeved shirts, and chipper demeanor could not mask how disappointed she was to still be doing this in her late 30s. In a windowless studio with scuffed wooden floors and a crooked Merce Cunningham poster, we learned modern ballet routines, running back and forth to the strains of 9 to 5 and Daydream Believer. I can't go, I told Sophie one Tuesday. I have my period. A period isn't a reason to cancel something, she said, annoyed. You just do everything you would usually do, but with your period. But to me, it felt like the onset of the flu. A dull but constant backache. A need to bend and crumple at the waist for comfort. And an itchy sting, like an encounter with bad leaves, in my vagina and ass. That's right. Lena Dunham is so nasty she gets a period in her ass.
Antoine.
Yeah, I'm back.
You're back and I can't hear you.
What do you mean you can't hear me?
Turn your volume up.
My volume is up.
I can't hear you at all.
There's 2 of me.
Plague, stop fucking around with his volume.
Is that better?
No. Well, I mean, it's slightly better, but not by much.
What about now?
No. You just sound very quiet. Disconnect and reconnect again. Harry, I swear to God. Jesus wept. Yes, he actually has wept before. That would be War's fault.
Can you hear me now?
No!
God damn it!
What have you done to your microphone? I didn't hit you that hard.
How about now?
I can't hear you at all.
Why not? I don't
Talk louder.
I don't understand what's happening.
You're not even registering. I can hear you in... You're not even being picked up by your little icon.
Wonderful.
This is what happens when the trio decides to go for Thai food. All the technical issues show up, and the person in charge of fixing the technical issues is the one who's the freaking cyber demon. Does anyone else pick up on the irony of this? Or is it just me?
So you can't hear me at all?
Come on. This is ridiculous.
See, they said
You
they
can hear him now. I can't hear him.
Why don't you... See, they can hear me. You can't. I don't know what the fuck is going on, so we're gonna just keep going. A little annoyed.
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
No, I can't hear you.
I don't know what's going on. They can hear me, you can't.
I'll be right back.
So, I don't know what's going on. Yes, the book is much better if you can't hear me reading it. It's sad but true. It's so sad. I don't know why she can't hear me. So we're just gonna keep going. Hello, can you hear? Yeah, see, I'm not being picked up in the Hangout, and I don't know why. Hold on.
I still can't hear you. Set up another Google Hangout because this is ridiculous.
Hold on. That's...
Oh, I hear you now.
You can hear me now.
I can hear you now.
Alright.
What did you do?
I just went into my settings. Can you all... Can they hear me is the question.
I don't know, but I hear you loud and clear.
Can you all hear me in the chat?
Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear him.
Oh, don't do that. Yes, they can hear me. Good. Alright, let's... Do not pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
What happened?
I don't know. Sorry, I will turn down the microphone. I had it turned all the way up because no one could fucking hear me. So, alright. Where was I? Oh, she was talking about a period.
Did you hear my little rant?
No, I didn't hear your little rant. I don't know if I want to hear your little rant.
No, you really don't. Nobody wants to hear my rant. They already heard it, though.
Are you naked while you're doing it?
No!
Well, then of course I don't want to hear your rant.
You don't want to hear anything unless I'm naked.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, you're such a pervert.
Deviant. The term is deviant.
Pervert, deviant, same thing.
There's a difference.
Not really.
So, back to the book. But, that's right, she had a period in her vagina and her ass. How could anyone do anything when they felt this way? And would this really happen every month until I was 50? My mother was 50 and her nightstand was stacked with books with titles like A Woman's Cycle and Second Puberty. I asked her if she had ever had cramps like mine. Nope, she told me. My period didn't give me any problems at all until it went away. Now she had to take all kinds of pills, use creams. Ew. I had recently found a medication of hers whose instructions said insert pill vaginally at least 5 hours before a bath.
Ew.
So Antihero in the chat would like you to call me a pervert again because he really likes how you say it.
Antoine?
What?
Darling.
Yes?
You're a pervert.
I'm not a pervert, I'm a deviant. There is a huge difference.
Same thing.
How's it going, Vin? Uh-oh.
Hello, Vin.
Kaduntress ravenous. Hide the booze! Collective jizzing.
Disgusting.
It didn't happen every month, as it turned out. Some months it happened. For days on end it happened. Other times it would seem like it was gone. And then I would wake up and think I had been shot in the crotch. The months it didn't happen at all never concerned me until I became sexually active and started keeping pregnancy tests in my sock drawer. When I was 16, I went to the gynecologist for the first time. They tell you that you can wait until you're either 18 or sexually active, and I was neither. But I needed help. My period, the pain, the volatility, the feeling of utter despair was taking my family hostage.
What? I don't understand that.
I don't either.
Was she that much of a drama queen about her period that A, nobody took her to the doctor to get her something to help her with it, you know, like tranquilizers? Or was she just that helpless?
This is also the girl that would look at random strangers and go and tell them that her father stuck a fork in her vagina.
Point. I concede.
And if my father asked whether I was possibly menstruating, I screamed in his face so loud his glasses shook. Despite my virgin status, the gynecologist prescribed birth control, which has helped with regularity, but nothing can help the mood that still descends a few days before my period begins, like a black cloud rolling in. So you hang around her every month?
Who?
You! Black cloud, lots of pain, makes people angry?
No, that's all her own psychosis. I have better things to do with my time.
Oh, okay. I'm uncharacteristically dark and nihilistic. Everyone is out to get me, to hurt me, to uninvite me from their tea parties, to judge my body and destroy my family. No, we don't want to destroy your family. You do that just fine on your own. Because you
shut you up.
Yeah, because you molested your sister and Moxley.
She molested Moxley.
She did. That's why that's why his growth is stunted.
Oh, poor Moxley. You didn't deserve that. I mean, I'm cruel, but that's just excessive. I mean, it's Moxley. He's like a cute little dwarf.
I mean, he is pocket-sized.
Yeah.
I'm like a character on Dallas, obsessed with subterfuge and revenge, convinced I have discovered unlikely yet real-seeming plots against me. Once, while in the throes of PMS, I became convinced a man in a black overcoat was following me from La Cienega, following me down La Cienega Boulevard. Oi, that's a fucking word, isn't it? The police will never believe me, I sighed, and began hatching a plan for losing him on my own. When menstruating, I am the definition of inconsolable. cannot be consoled. My friend Jenny swears my eyes take on a cat-like slant and my face grows pale. If someone suggests it's hormonal, they are met with a deluge of verbal abuse, followed by aggressive apologies and pleas for forgiveness. Tears. I lie face down and wait for it to pass. Can you just kill her and get it over with?
Why? I don't want to touch that.
Mercedes says she made the priest retract his vow of celibacy. Menstruating is the only part of being female I have ever disliked. Everything else feels like a unique and covetable privilege, but this, when it began, it held a morbid fascination, like a car crash that happened inside my underpants every 3 weeks.
Every 3 weeks?
Yeah.
That seems a little frequent.
A little bit.
Unless you're talking about 3 weeks between the end and the beginning.
Well,
which
I mean,
makes slightly more sense.
It's true. I was happy to be admitted into this exclusive club, to finally regard the tampon machine with the knowledge of the initiated. But it soon became tiresome, like a melodramatic friend or play rehearsals. There's something so demoralizing about the predictability of it all. We want chocolate. We are angry. Our stomachs puff out like pastries. Early on, I made a promise to myself never to use menstruation as a comic crutch or a narrative device in my work. Never to commiserate in a group about which pills actually take care of cramps. Never to say anything but, I have a stomachache. And I do. Last summer, my vagina started to sting. Yeah, that's the start of a sentence. That's the start.
That is not a sentence you ever want to hear started.
Especially coming from Lena Dunham.
Yes.
I would wake up more conscious of my genitals than usual, and, as I came to, I'd realize why. As work began, as we all waved hello and ate our eggs on a roll and decided who to hate that day, I would feel it. It was like someone had poured a drop of vinegar inside of me, followed by a sprinkle of baking soda. It bubbled and fizzled and went where it would. I chugged water, having decided acidic urine was the problem. I took pills found in the refrigerator section at Whole Foods that my hairdresser suggested. I asked the doctor to test my urine and questioned the lack of results. I imagined the worst. A flesh-eating bacteria acquired in India making its way up my urethra. We can only be so lucky. Soon to turn me into a bag of bones. A tiny tumour, like a pea, sitting high up inside me. An imperceptible scratch from a sandy tampon.
Where is she getting her tampons from that they are sandy? Because again, being female and going through this, I have never once experienced a sandy tampon.
Well, the problem is you have to realize she's a feminist. And their vaginas are always sandy, because they can't help but get sand up in their vaginas. So it's not necessarily sand from the tampon, it's just normally there.
I see.
I have a lot of worst nightmares. One of mine is continuing to read this book. And chronic vaginal pain has long been among them. What? Worst nightmares? We're talking about, for some people, worst nightmares are a zombie apocalypse. Nuclear holocaust. Starving to death. Heights. Being eaten alive by maggots. For her, it's having chronic vaginal pain. Can we say privileged?
No, I actually have to join her on that one. No woman wants chronic vaginal pain. It really makes life miserable, from what I understand.
Alright, I wouldn't know.
That's why I said from what I understand.
The camera my mother gave me is Suzanne Casson's lyrical little memoir about her struggle with vaginismus. I don't know. It's Vaginismus.
I don't know.
Vaginismus.
It's some kind of chronic disease.
A pain in her vagina that she could neither explain nor ignore. I'm telling you, never have you read such a page-turner about female genitalia. Actually, I have. It's called Penthouse. Or Hustler. And Casson masterfully illustrates the fact that the vagina is an organ uniquely qualified to express our emotions to us when we aren't capable of listening to our brains or hearts. And the vagina is our most emotional organ, subject to both science and spirit. At the height of her saga, Casson says, I wanted my vagina back. I wanted the world to regain the other dimension that only the vagina can perceive. Because the vagina is the organ that looks to the future. The vagina is potential. It's not emptiness, it's possibility. Sarah, while I'm reading this, can you do something for me?
What?
Can you look up the book The Camera My Mother Gave Me?
Yes.
Because she put vagina 1, 2, 3, 4 times in 3 sentences. That's...
It is.
It's a real book?
Yep. Susanna Casson, who wrote about her teenage depression in the bestseller Girl Interrupted, now takes on another taboo. Her vagina, which suddenly and inexplicably starts to hurt. And neither Casson's cheery gynecologist, nor her internist, nor a laconic vulvologist has the cure. An alternative health nurse suggests direct application of tea, baking soda, and boric acid. Others recommend Novocaine, oatmeal, biofeedback, and antidepressants. Nothing works. As sex becomes more and more painful, Casson's relationship with her boyfriend disintegrates, and she turns to her best friends, her wicked sense of humor, and finally wry self-reflection to get herself through. Using this unusual lens, Casson challenges us to think in new ways about the centrality and power of sexuality. The Camera My Mother Gave Me is an unexpected and revelatory book from one of our most candid, insightful, and consistently surprising writers, as per the Amazon description.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I may actually get that and read that after I'm done reading 50 Shades of Grey.
Why? Who's paying you to do it?
I'm just wanting to torture the chat.
As long as I'm not part of it, that's fine. Go for it.
So, let's continue. As a result of this book, I associate pain in the vagina with weakness and sadness. Casson has made a career out of turning her madness inside out for the world to see, and the book never does pin her vaginal pain on a single medical cause. Rather, she finds relief by exiting a bad relationship, reclaiming her life and spirit, and, in the process, her vagina. Because, you know, it's removable, so she had to get it back from her ex-boyfriend. That's how it works with...
to an episode of Archer, it vibrates.
No, that's because that was an android.
Yes, I know. With a removable vagina.
Well, she has to clean it out somehow.
I didn't say she was unreasonable.
So my question is... okay, so you're no longer human, right, Sarah?
I suppose I could be classified as supernatural at this point. Well, I was already supernatural. So yes, I'm no longer human.
Alright, so... But you were human at one point?
No.
You weren't human at one point?
No.
Okay. For those women in the... For those women... No. For those women in the chat, are you able to take it off and, like, put it up on a shelf?
You know, that is a question I could have asked, because I could have told you the same thing they're going to tell you. No.
Well, I'm just wondering, because of the fact that this is... Apparently, she had to reclaim it. which means she had to find it again because she lost it somewhere.
How do you lose your vagina?
I don't know.
It's attached. It's one of those things that when it stops working properly, you kind of know about it.
Doc Griffin says if I have an image of Lena's vag looking like a pair of dirty parachute pants.
I mean, he's probably not wrong.
Alright, so what could I be suppressing that was filling me up with pain? Was it ambivalence about sex? Was I ever molested? No, you did that to your sister. If so, that would explain some other things too. Well, you did say that your father stuck forks in your vagina. Was I afraid of where my career might be taking me? And was I running so far ahead of myself that I couldn't catch up? Did I even know the difference between my urethra and my vagina? I'm pretty sure she still doesn't know the difference. The pain came and went, but my anxiety about it grew steadily. I avoided the doctor. Sure, the prognosis would simply be basket case. She's not wrong. But eventually, my catastrophic thinking became unbearable, and my incredibly patient boyfriend became sick of the refrain, "My vagina hurts." So I went to see Randy. Randy is my gynecologist. I have had a number of gynecologists over the years, all talented in their own ways, because they're able to look at her vagina and not instantly throw up into their mouths. But Randy is the best. He's an older Jewish man who, before deciding to inspect ladies down there for a living, played for the Mets. Because that's what you do after you play baseball as a career. Why not become a gynecologist?
Well, it's something, I suppose.
What the fuck?
At least it's productive. He's not snorting coke off of a hooker's stomach or something.
That's very true, but still. He still has the can-do determination of a pitcher on the underdog team, and, to my mind, that is exactly the kind of man you want delivering your babies, or rooting around in your vagina. Sorry, there's an old Bill Cosby joke. I mean, we are talking about Lena Dunham, so, you know, Lena Dunham raped her younger sister. You go on to Bill Cosby. He has a joke about how his wife is giving birth to their first child. And how they went to Lamaze class and things like that. And then the doctor, who is in there, is just sitting between his wife's legs, ready to deliver the baby, like Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench is a famous catcher. So you don't get it because you're not laughing, but it's.
No, I do get it. I'm waiting for you to finish.
It's her gynecologist used to play baseball. Johnny Bench.
Yes.
It's the joke. He actually.
You know, Bill Cosby's funny. I'm waiting for you to be.
Shut up. Antihero does ask a very important question, though. How big is her vag that it can be rooted around in?
At least elbow deep, 2 arms wide.
2 arms wide. Jesus Christ. Alright.
Oh, yes, you have to be able to get both arms in to be able to root around.
Is that a fact? Alright, so.
I told you I knew Bloody Mary and that she's psychotic. You learn things.
You know what? Don't finish that story. I don't want to know.
You shouldn't, no.
Continuing on, which is exactly what he did one Thursday, as he asked me about work and told me about his son's new French bulldog. Does it hurt when you shtup? He asked. I nodded yes. He inserted the speculum and he described his wife's commitment to her spin classes. He said, I'm not a foodie, At least 3 times. Well, it all feels okay to me, he said, with the exception of a small bump of inexplicable scar tissue. My vaginal canal was just great. But let's just take a closer look to be sure. He then summoned the ultrasound tech, Michelle, who kept her engagement ring on her tanned, lumpy finger as she snapped a rubber glove on and covered the ultrasound wand with what appears to be dime store prophylactic. Is that a condom? I asked. Yeah, basically, she said. But is it different than a condom? Like, what do you call the product? A condom, she responded. Kind but firm, she slid the ultrasound wand inside me and watched the screen closely as she moved it back and forth. Randy watched with interest as Michelle attempted to part my large intestines like a curtain. What? What? Your intestines? Your intestines are not attached? What? No! See, I know this enough about human anatomy that your intestines are not attached to your vagina.
The best part of that whole thing was you saying what repeatedly.
Does she not understand?
4 words.
Does she not understand her own... What?
No. No, she does not. Does that answer your question?
No.
Then I can't help you.
Her uterus, she said. Look, it's pretty far to the right. Randy nodded. But her ovary? It's pinned against the wall. My uterus, I asked. It's far over there, Randy said. No, I'm not dead yet, Ben. I'm getting there. I think I'm about to ready have an aneurysm. There's some... Oh, God. I'm not even going to try and say this word. Adenomyosis. Adenomyosis?
Adenoidal?
Whatever. Right there, Michelle said, pointing to a rolling grey shape. But nothing larger than that. No cysts. The left ovary is... No, it's the right ovary that's wonky, Randy said, taking the wand from her like an impatient kid playing a video game with a friend. After a long moment, he patted my leg reassuringly and removed the wand in one swift motion. You know, like you're trying to start a lawnmower. I mean, she doesn't understand where the hell her intestines connect in her body, so you might as well use it like a lawnmower. After a long moment... No, I said that. After a long moment, he patted my leg reassuringly... Oh, I said that. Okay, hop up and get dressed and meet me in my office. When they left, the sting was so bad that I shook my legs out, like a kid doing the hokey pokey, trying to redistribute the pain. When that didn't work, I bundled the blue cotton gown up and pressed it into my crotch like I was trying to stop up a wound. In Randy's office, which is home to 2 mismatched Regency chairs, a charcoal drawing of a pregnant woman, and a pair of decorative boxing gloves, he explained that I had classic endometriosis. Using a laminated picture from approximately 1987, he explained that endometriosis is when the cells that line the uterus are found outside the uterus, rising and swelling with the monthly hormonal cycle and causing many of the symptoms I had always considered to be my unique dysfunction. A sign that I wasn't strong enough for this world. The bladder pain, the stinging sensation, the ache in my lower back were all the results of growths the size of pinheads that were doting my once pristine organs.
Dotting.
Whatever.
Dotting. Fuck. Speak English.
I am speaking
He's
English.
having trouble speaking it. You need to speak it properly.
Dotting my once pristine organs. He couldn't say for sure without surgery, but he'd seen enough of these cases to feel fairly confident. The adenomyosis, which the endometrial cells begin growing into the muscles surrounding the uterus, was a telltale sign. In the drawing Randy showed me, it looked like 100 of seed pearls working their way into soft pink velvet. He was kind enough to also show me some photographs he had taken during laparoscopic surgeries of cases worse than my own. The photos looked like the remains of a wedding. Rice scattered, cake smushed, a little bit of blood.
That does sound like an active wedding.
That sounds like a wedding war goes to.
No, she's actually pretty respectful about weddings. It's the bar mitzvahs you need to watch out for.
Now, I agree, Ben. Surgery is not going to fix her. Just amputate the whole body. Yes.
It's called murder. I don't want to touch her soul. We just covered this.
Can't you just let it rot inside of her?
No, because then she haunts it, and there's nobody I hate that much.
Alright.
You can always send it to the IDL.
You know what? I'm not even that mean. Really. That's... You know, I don't mind Jones. I mean, he's not that bad of a guy. I don't want to send him Lena Dunham. That's not... I mean, come on.
You do have compassion after all. I guess you're not a demon. How disappointing.
Sorry? Does this explain why I'm so tired? I asked hopefully. I mean, if you're in pain half the month, then yeah, you're gonna be tired, he agreed. And would this, like, affect my fertility? Oh, please, God, yes, let it affect her fertility. I asked tentatively. It can make it harder to get pregnant, Randy said. It doesn't mean it will, but it can. There is a God. Do we all have uteruses? I asked my mother when I was 7.
No. Sometimes God takes mercy on us and lets people like you remain sterile.
Doesn't necessarily mean she doesn't have a uterus.
Lena, not you, Antoine.
Yes, I know I don't have a uterus. She still has one, it's just sterile. Yes, she told me, we're born with them, and with all our eggs, but they start out very small. And they aren't ready to make babies until we're older. I looked at my sister, now a slim, tough 1-year-old, and her tiny belly. I imagined her eggs inside her, like a sack of spider eggs in Charlotte's Web, and her uterus, the size of a thimble. Oh God, I think we're getting to the bad part. Does her vagina look like mine? I guess so, my mother said, just smaller. One day, as I sat in our driveway in Long Island playing with blocks and buckets, my curiosity got the best of me. Grace was sitting up, babbling and smiling. I leaned down between her legs and carefully spread open her vagina.
No.
She didn't resist, and when I saw what was inside, I shrieked. My mother came running. Mama, Mama, Grace has something in there. My mother didn't bother asking why I had opened Grace's vagina because she already knew that you were a pedophile. This was within the spectrum of things that I did. She wasn't worried. She wasn't worried that you opened up your sister's vagina. That's something you did regularly? Are you fucking kidding me? Your mother...
Either that, or it was just weird enough that her mother just accepted she was a freak. She done weirder things, apparently.
She didn't even bother to ask. She didn't even bother to ask why she had done it.
I heard that part.
She just got on her knees and looked for herself. It quickly became apparent that Grace had stuffed 6 or 7 pebbles in there. My mother removed them patiently while Grace cackled, thrilled that her prank had been such a success.
So it was Grace that put the pebbles...
A 1-year-old does not put rocks in their vaginas, on top of the fact that... Why was the 1-year-old outside naked?
I don't know. Why are you asking me?
I don't know, but I think I scared Mitzi. She says she'll be right back. I think she's going to go throw up in the toilet.
I think there's a number of our chat who's going to join them.
I kind of want to join them, and I don't even have a stomach.
You don't have any internal organs, do you?
I don't think so.
I'll get my size. We'll cut you open.
No, put it away.
No.
Put it away.
Fine. No sense of curiosity.
For as long as I can remember, I have wanted to be a mother. Oh God.
Please no.
No. Can you take it?
I'm not in the habit of begging. I will beg. Something like that. Do not ever happen.
Don't you know gods or something? Can't you go talk to them and be like, don't ever grace her with a child?
No, I don't know God. Well, I do know gods, but the difference is they don't listen to me like that. You need to talk to War, or you need to find someone else. I could tell you about someone else, but I don't ever want the two of you to meet.
Peter locks says, damn it, guys, I'm about to eat. Sorry, Peter. I hope the food smells good, because it's probably the last time you're ever going to want to eat. In early childhood, it was so extreme that I could often be found breastfeeding stuffed animals. When my sister was born, family legend has it that I asked my mother if we could reverse roles. Let's tell her I'm her mother and you're her sister. She won't ever know. Over time, my belief in many things has wavered. Marriage, the afterlife, Woody Allen. But never motherhood. It's for me. God, no. Please, no. I just know it. Sometimes I lie in bed next to my sleeping boyfriend and puff out my stomach. Imagine that he is protecting me and I'm protecting our child. Sometimes we talk about how exciting it would be if something happened accidentally. If we were faced with becoming parents without having to make the decision ourselves. I name them in my head. Picture picking them up in the park, hauling them through the Gristides? What the fuck is that? When we
Spell it.
Gristedes.
Gristedes?
Yes.
Apparently it's a supermarket.
Oh, okay. When we all have colds, stopping by a picnic just for 5 minutes because he's really sleepy. Reading Eloise to my 3-year-old daughter for the first time. Running around and shutting the windows before a storm. Explaining, this'll keep us nice and dry. Antihero, you're not wrong. Antihero says, I kind of feel like letting a third-wave intersectional feminist have a kid would be something like child abuse. You're not wrong. Just ask Clementine Ford's child. That's right, she has a little boy. He won't be a boy for long, because he's going to have all of that transphobia downloaded into his tiny little head, and he's going to hate his penis, which he's going to then want to have cut off when he's 7. When I tell my doctor aunt about my endometriosis diagnosis, endo for those who are in the know, she says I better get cracking. In medical school, that was the first thing we were taught. She says, after an endo diagnosis, you say, get started now. My doctor never said that to me. He was casual. Now that I consider it, too casual. He had been rooting around in her vagina. I had been right all along, known better than any doctor. Something really was wrong down there. Yes, it's still functional. So I have to get started now. It's time to get started now. And why not? I wonder. I have a job. I am in love. We have an extra bedroom that we are currently using for shoes, boxes, and occasional guests. I'm told my dog is unusually good with children. I already look fucking pregnant. Why the hell not?
I can give several reasons why the hell not.
I have a laundry list of reasons of why the hell not. I can feel them, the babies. They're not crawling over me. They're not vomiting in my hair or shrieking. They're doing perfectly normal baby things. And I'm keeping them alive. But I resent them. Their constancy, their intrusion on my relationship and my free time and my naps and my imagination and my heart. They've come too soon, and I can't do any of what I had planned. All I can do is survive.
I'm confused.
These are the imaginary babies that she had before, that she was so happy to, go through a store when they had colds or stopping by a picnic.
But she resents them.
But now she resents them.
Is she bipolar?
No, the correct term is terminally insane.
Is she terminally insane then?
Yes. Grim, this is also the woman who, molested her sister. For her, feeling babies is a pickup line.
Yes, Bensi, you are committing elder abuse by letting Antoine read this book. How much elder, we're not sure.
My most frequently recurring dream is one in which I suddenly remember I have a number of pets living in my home that I haven't tended to in years. Rabbits, hamsters, iguanas, stacked in dirty cages in my closet or beneath the bed. Terrified, I open the door, but the light touches them for the first time in ages. Desperate, I dig through the clumped, wet wood chips. I'm afraid they're decomposing in there, but I find them still alive, thin and milky-eyed and filthy. I know that I loved them once, that they had better life before I got so distracted with my work and myself and let them shrivel up and nearly die. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, I tell them as I clean their cages and fill their bottles with fresh water. How can I make it up to you? Thank you, Ali. I do my best. Oh God, thank God we're done with that section. That was the last one. So it's your turn, Sarah.
Are you sure you want this?
Do you want me to continue reading, Lena Dunham? It's about friendship for section 3, and the very first chapter is titled Girl Crush.
You know what? Save that for after I read this.
Alright.
Because I promise you, this is going to hurt.
Bring it on, darling.
Don't challenge me like that. This is by that same person who gave us Love Beyond Cybernetics, or whatever it was.
Love Beyond Circuit.
That one.
I wonder if Optimus Prime is in the chat. He's still got R2-D2 in his ass.
That's true. You never let go of him. This one is called Mario and Bowsette in the Blazes of Love.
Now, do not ruin Bowsette. She is a new meme. Do not ruin her.
Mario wanted to marry Princess Peach, but she acted like a prissy prostitute. Come on, Princess. We love each other, cries Mario on his knees. His nest, pleading for Peach's hand to marry him. Just her hand, not the rest of her. No, go away, you fat bastard. I'm a delicate flower. I would never marry a lowly blue-collar worker like you. I will only marry royalty or a rich men's. Get out of here, fatso, says Princess Peach. Slaps Mario's face. Ouch, I saved you from Bowser. I deserve a night of love and passion with you. Kaduntress over here celebrating. She knows what I'm reading. Fuck you, homo. I'm going to Disneyland. So long, gay Mario. And Peach entered her floating boat, lifted a leg, broke wind, and went away.
What?
Yes.
What? No, she lifted her leg, broke wind, and floated away.
Yes.
This is...
It gets better. Just wait.
Oh, God.
Bowser was near. He had been defeated by Mario and was lying in a puddle of his own vomit. It smelled like rotten macaroni.
Oh, God.
Carcass.
Come on!
But he liked it. He was
Oh.
Bowser couldn't marry Peach, and now he kind of feels bad for Mario, the mustachioed, pot-bellied plumber. Peach's fart was smelly. Hey, Mario. Do you wanna kinda hang out? Asked Bauer with a funny, funky, smelly voice. He didn't brush his teeth for days, and some teeth were rotten and decaying like a crepit old whore's ass. But he is like a soldier. A shotgun hole in his guts only makes him stronger.
Wait, did he mean decrepit old whore?
Decrepit old whore's ass.
Okay, that's just fucking... Oh my god. Go on.
Okay, Bosa, I kinda don't know what to do now. My only purpose in life, P-O-R-P-O-S, in life is to save the princess. And now she treats me like a used tampuna.
Does he not have spell check, or is he doing this on purpose?
I think it's characteristic of them at this point.
Oh god.
Morrow and Boosewer went to Boa's castle, and there they playing some Minecraft, and after played guitar and danced the Macarena. But Mario was still felling the blues shell. Them, Boosewer said something. What here, Mario? I have something that will elevate your spirits. And Bowser went under his bed and grabbed something. Are you alright over there?
No, because I can't do this anymore.
Do you want...
Welcome.
Just keep going. If I die of laughter, it's okay. I've gone out the best way possible.
No, there's a much better way of going out. What is this, Bauer? Princess Peach's crown? What are you going to do with it, said Mario, protecting his butt against the wall. He had bad past experiences with Ponty crowns. Don't be afraid, Mario. You will feel like a real man. Bowsero put the crown on top of his own head, and then the transformations began.
Oh god.
What? Mario was discombobulated. They spelled that correctly.
They spelled discombobulated correctly, but everything else in this fucking story is spelt wrong.
Yes. Bowser transformed in front of himself into Bowsette, an extremely hot and bootylicious princess drenched in pussy juices, smelling like mayonnaise and cucumber pie.
Oh.
Mario immediately acquired a severe case of priapism. My god, my dick is rock hard diamonds, and Mario immediately inserted his mushroom cock inside the lizard-textured pussy of that prodigiously blazing hot dark princess full of satanic countermeasures.
What?
Which part do you want me to reread?
I don't want you to read any of it again. Just keep going.
Aye, what a scaldingly hard pipe you have, Mr. Plumber, said Bowsette, ejaculating hot plasma from her torrid pussy. She was a dragon after all. No, and Mario's penis gets charred with the ball of fire emanating from Bowsette's vagina. My little Mariotino, it is ruined. I will never produce a little plumber to call my offspringer. There, my hot hairy man. Take this mushroom, it will make you well. And Mario ingests that strange mushroom full of hair follicles and corruption.
Hair follicles and corruption?
Yes. Whoa! And Mario's penis turned giant and powerful. 40 inches of pure bronze alloy. He is now immune to the volcanic, lustful Bowsette's vagina. Ay caramba, soy a new man. Here I come, my scallywaggalicious princess. and Mario's cock is inserted fully into the scally vagina. The cock Bowsette's mouth, and come one of mushrooms directly inside Mario's mouth. No, I'm no homo, but now Mario is questioning his own sexuality. He tasted his own semen and feels extremely self-conscious despite acquiring 50 lives in one gulp. Come here, my powerful, shaggy, unshaven, bewhiskered fat man, asks Bowsette with a sultry voice like a pregnant, licentious kangaroo emerging from a lustful coffin. Oh my God. I will prove to you, you are Mario, wit a capital man. Bowsette then turned around and showed Marianne her round, soaking wet and shining big butt. Put it in and call me Shirley, cried with lustful desire Bowsette as she grabbed Mario's aluminum 60-inch cock and inserted directly. It did, and it changed metal. And inserted directly inside her pulsating, unhallowed anus. Oh God, I think I'm having multiple orgasms, Princess Bowsette. Cries with joy the spurts discharging mustachioed abdomen distended man. However, Mario, my dear, huff huff, tries to speak Bowsetter while orgasming and ejaculating lava and brimstone from her front hole. I think I forgot something, but she was too late. Mario pumped Bowsette's anus so much that the pressure became critical, and then, boom! An explosive diarrhea thundered off from Bowsette's fecal black hole, submerging the poor plumber into a deluge of semi-digested meatballs and octopus's asshole.
Oh, God.
Sorry, my modern man, said a blushing Bowsette, pooping and farting as cutely as a ballerina bear. Mario got a bit confused, but his boner disagreed with his immediate disgust. Princess Bowsette, I think I discovered a new fetisher. Mario, covered in feces and macaroni, then turned to Bowsette, put her on his lap, and say, Bowsette, my lover, have you heard of a little game called Dirty Sanchez?
Oh, come on.
Bowsette made an inquisitive face and denied. I will show you, my dear, said Mario. He then put his index finger inside Bowsette's asshole, it was still leaking feces and putrid noodles, and started to draw a mustache under Bowsette's nose. She cummed with joy. Oh, Mario, I loved it, and they proceeded to kiss one another. Mario Mustache got soiled with shit, and the two of them are now united in love. Bowsette then started to lick inside Mario's nose and swallow his mucus.
Oh, God.
Better than caviar, she said. And
No, it doesn't say that. It does not. No, it doesn't.
It does say that.
You are just making this up.
I am not making this up. Here, hold on.
Are you screen sharing?
Yes, no, I'm screenshotting it and I'm going to send it to you.
Oh, God. This is just yeah. This story is now just all of the people watching have gone away. I have to fire Nightbot now because he's putting up the hit that like button at the very wrong time in the chat. Hit that like button. We're talking about scat play. Go ahead. Oh, God.
There you go. Do we even have anyone still in the chat?
Yeah,
Have they all left?
No, they're still here. From fecal black hole. Wait, where is it?
It's down towards the bottom.
No, that's disgusting. And he's using colons. Why is he using colons?
I don't know.
Better than caviar. Oh god, keep reading. How much? There's not much more, is there? Please tell me
there's not. We're getting to the. I don't want to say it. And her boobies started.
We're getting to the climax.
I didn't want to say it.
Oh, god. Go on.
And her boobies started to leak milk, but not common milk. It was milk mixed with ketchup and chili pepper.
What the fuck? What?
She is a fiery manatee, full of lust and ready to accept the final eradication in exchange for the ultimate transcendent orgasms. Mario, fuck my titties. Even if I die, don't stop. I want your steel cock coming into my bosom and exploding me with savage virility. Mario didn't wait, and his metal member inserted itself inside one of Bowsette's titties and started to fuck it and ejaculate boiling mercury with extreme prejudice, melting Bowsette's boobies from inside.
No.
Yes, yes, more bitch, more, cried Bowsette's with a cantankerously authoritarian voice full of bravado.
Right?
Cantankerously or authoritarian, because he got both of them.
Nice.
Full of bravado and persuasive gonorrhea, inflicting the most vile diseases inside Mario's decayed metal cock. No, you are infecting me, bitch, cried in pain Mario, the betrayed putrid plumber, now decaying and rotting from inside from all the combined diseases Bowsette inserted through his urethra. Apparently, instead of copulins, it's STDs.
So, wait, so what you're saying is Bowsette is taking lessons from Opal?
Apparently. But remember, Mario is fucking her tit.
How?
Not between her tits. Her tit.
Yeah, he inserted it into her nipple. He does know that. He does know that that's not how it works.
I don't know. Yes, Mercedes, you can pay me not to read this again. Until then, I'm going to keep reading.
Oh, God.
He is full of hate and lust, and know that his last minutes of life are rapidly passing by. It was his own choice to fornicate with that diabolic lizard woman, and he will pay the price, but not before ejaculating his last jet of coagulating semen inside that fiendish titties.
Oh, God.
I will see you in hell, you whore! Exclamation point one, exclamation point one, exclamation point. And Mario's cock explodes inside Bowsette's boobies in a blazing inferno, burning flesh and bone, destroying titties and nerves, and damaging all Bowsette's organs like a crying, pooping panther. She expels from her vagina the last volcanic orgasm, a jet of fire and coals that spread all over the bedroom, burning furniture and hitting Mario's skin, head, and boner. Mario's body starts to combust and his brain boil, while his eyes explode in 1,000 pieces and his bowels eject its contents, covering the flowing pussy lava with shit and AIDS. The couple share a last kiss while they melt in a puddle of vile, hot shit. The end? Question mark? Prologue.
No! No, there isn't! No, there is not.
There is.
Oh, God.
Peach heard the news about Mario's and Bowsette's affair and got jealous, thinking how they made passionate love in the middle of putrescence and degeneration, forgetting about her, making her feel unloved and with a dry pussy. She started to study necromancy. One day I will resurrect them both, and they will show me how real pleasure feels. Mwahaha. They will be my sexual slave zombies, and I will have my revenge. The end too? Question mark?
Don't hold us in suspension. Is there more?
No, that's the end of it.
Oh, God. Damn, that was horrifying.
Let's see. There's Sonic goes to the gym.
No,
Piccolo's
we don't.
presents.
No, no.
Spider-Man versus Santa Claus. Batman's birthday party. Cloud and Tifa searching for a new heart. The story of a big baby in the house, which is a house MD. Fic. Wolf blood lineage, which is Harry Potter.
Look, you all. Look, you all. Anyone can put a super chat, Streamlabs, whatever. Pay her to not read something like that again. That's all I'm saying.
Love the Fuel of Heroes. Psychonauts fic.
Oh god, no.
Training in the village for a massive man. It's a Naruto Incredible Hulk crossover.
Oh,
Naked Heart in Soul of the Sun. Powerpuff Girls.
She's gonna find another one.
Scooby-Doo and the Trip of Lust.
No. No.
That one's almost 4,000 words.
Oh god.
Uh,
Why?
House. Let's see. There's another House MD, Little Mermaid. Doomsday Womb, which is apparently a crossover between Inspector Gadget and Superman. Let's see. Roots of Life, A Cradle to Love, which is Fairly Odd Parents.
God.
There's an X-Men. Wonder Woman, Love in the Smudge, which is Shrek and Wonder Woman crossover.
No, I agree with Grimm. Not good enough. We need to find who authored this and introduce them to a baseball bat at high velocity. In Minecraft, naturally. We can't do it in real life. It's Minecraft.
Batman and RoboCop, The Day the Men Found Love.
No.
The Madness in the Heart of Men? Apparently it's a Rookies crossover. I don't know what that one is. Oh, there's a Death Note. The First Love Night of Elle and Light. Peter Parker's Last Temptation. Batman in the Bowels of Hell. The Last Battle of Vegeta and Goku.
Oh, don't read that. You're going to piss a whole bunch of people off.
Oh, that one's very short. It's only 788 words.
Antihero, can you come on and do the voice of Vegeta for us?
Do you want to go back to Lena Dunham?
It's only 700 words. Go for it.
All right. Let's see. Goku was fighting with Vegeta for the Dragon Balls because Vegeta turned evil and wanted to take the world. Gaim back Tosh 6-ball Goku, I'm invincible. To explain, it's spelled Tohse. No way, Vegeta, you will not have them.
How's it going, Trash Fire? This show is turning into your namesake.
It is. Vegeta was angry because Goku had 6 balls and he only had 1. But he is going to take back. So he started to change his superpower and ejected a Kame. Voom! Goku, trying to dodge, let 1 ball fall and got distracted, so the Kamehameha picked one of his eyes, obliterating it in an explosion of blood, veins, and pain. Ah, my eye, I'm one-eyed, cried in pain Gok. I'm not kidding. He left off the U. Ha! Now I have 2 Dragon Balls, shouted a happy Vegeta. Vegeta flied to the ground and picked the ball. He was happy and got immediately erect with passion and lust. Goku's eye was on the ground, and Vegeta picked it and started to rub and feel it.
Sarah.
Yes.
You suddenly started to sound American.
Sorry. It's difficult to do this. I want you to know that.
How do you think I feel? I have to read Lena Dunham.
Well, you can read Lena Dunham after I'm done with this. What was I? He was very liking because Goku's eye was sensual, so he flied back where Goku was in heaven. If you don't let my you other Dragon Balls, I'm kill you other eye. I'm not kidding.
What?
That is what it said.
What?
I am not
What?
kidding.
What? What?
Yeah.
Are you sending me another screenshot?
Yes.
Yes, this is Chris chatting cringy. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrifying.
There you go. Enjoy.
Oh god.
What was I? Yes.
Never.
I won't.
If you don't let you other Dragon Balls, I'm kill your other eye. What
X.
What the fuck?
X. Never, I won't do that, even if I lose my dick. Goku was courageous and protected the boss with his life. He will not let Vegeta rule the world. WROLD. The blood was flowing through the left empty eye socket, and it was black. Vegeta launched a contaminated Kamehameha, contaminated with his evil and wantonness. The blood turned almost black-red and started to boil. My brain is boiling, cried Goku in pain, because his infected blood was reacting on his body. Vegeta took Goku's carelessness and flied to him and started to punch his belly with 1,000 punches. Goku vomited his stomach that fell on the ground and splashed. At that moment, Goku knew he was going to die. So, to not let Vegeta use the Dragon Blast, however, he let his rage go out. His penis got large because it was full of infected blood boiling, and it started to escape through his penis pores. It was hurting, but God went rage and started to spank Vegeta with all his power. "Uah! You are killing me," cried Vegeta, who knew Goku got the upper hand. His greatest error was the evil Kamehameha because it turned Goku evil, so Goku was killing him because he turned evil now. Goku.
What the fuck?
Yes.
He's just turning evil now. Why not? Yeah, I got really quick, ladies and gentlemen. There's a quick palate cleanser here. That's just for you guys. Laugh. Thank you very much, Ben C, for this.
What was I? Goku punched with so strong hands, Vegeta's spinal cord ripped his back and went 1,000 kilometers flying in the atmosphere. He had no back now, but managed to fly backwards his powers. His flesh got grounded, and millions of pieces of his now dead and rotten flesh flied in all directions. "Now you will say," says Goku. He put his hand on Vegeta's dick and started to shred it. Pulsation veins followed on the ground, screaming and moaning. So Goku picked Vegeta's bladder and put it out with so violence it went out with his bowels and stomach too. Now Vegeta is a dead casket of a man, only surviving because he is strong. But now Vegeta turned good again, because Majin Buu's control vanished. Because he was suffering, and Majin Buu don't like suffer. Goku sorry. Goku knew Vegeta was good again and hugged him. He was feeling sorry. Back house, he never revealed his feeling to Vegeta. "Vegeta, I have something to say. I love you." Vegeta's eyes opened a lot, and he licked because he wanted to say the same thing. I love you too, Goku. Two is spelled T-W-O. The two started making out. They were very gentle with one another. Vegeta had no penis, so Goku, there was no O in there, it's just GKU, went to his back and started to put his man member on Vegeta. Vegeta was liking because he groaned and moaned like a cat. Goku put his hands on Veget's thorax and rubbed it, stroked it with passion and lust. Vegeta liked. So the time came, and Goku was ready to let out his pleasure juice. He held the much time he could to the pleasure be big, and then he let it out, a big splash of happiness with a Y, and joy. But sadly it spilled out of so the cum could not rest on his colon. The two hugged stronger, and then they started to fall on the ground. They were dead. The end.
Oh god, it's beautiful. That was horrifying.
You're welcome.
Oh god. Oh my god, that was bad.
You're welcome.
Oh, alright. Yeah, I'm sure there's a spanking the monkey joke somewhere around there. Alright, let's go on to section 3. The sooner I get this over with, the sooner I don't have to read it anymore. So section 3 is about friendship with Lena Dunham. This one is titled Girl Crush. That time I was almost a lesbian, then vomited. Now she does something nice. She has a quote here. It says, "You wrote me a beautiful letter. I wonder if you meant it to be as beautiful as it was. I think you did. For somehow I know that your feeling for me, however slight it is of the nature of love. When you tell me to come, I will come, by the next train, just as I am. Letter from Edna St. Vincent Millay to Edith Wayne Matheson."
I'm not sure how to take that.
Well, it's a letter from one lesbian to another.
Okay. It made about as much sense as the rest of this book.
I've had exactly one serious girl crush, a term I have been taught to hate by women I admire, but do not, in fact, have girl crushes on. Also, being in possession of a gay sister, I wonder why that her little sister is gay. I find the term girl crush slightly homophobic, because everything is homophobic. Even though you just called your sister gay. You homophobe. As if I need to make it clear that my crush on another woman is not at all sexual, but rather mild and adorable, much like a girl. That wouldn't be homophobic then, would it? It would be more sexist. Right? That would be a sexist thing.
It sounds about right.
And yes, she's in possession of her sister. My crush's name was Anne Chu. Not to be confused with Chu from, Robin Hood Men in Tights. This is Anne Chu. It's his mother.
That was a terrible joke.
Thank you. I was in 3rd grade, she in 4th. We wore thermal t-shirts, wide-leg jeans, and a headband on her hairline, creating the impression that it was holding on a glossy black wig. She was, in hindsight, maybe gay. Into kickball, the kind of swagger that isn't designed to arouse guys but does anyway during the pre-boner years when a girl being able to horse around is a bigger sexual stimulant than boobs. That's a run-on sentence.
This whole book is a run-on sentence.
A laser-sharp focus on her select group of girlfriends. Anne was gorgeous like a lady but unknowable like a man. I think this is a new Gillette commercial. She was active but quiet. Her smile was slow, as well as her lazy eye. And her head was too big for... I added that one just to make sure.
You read that so smoothly, I actually thought it was part of the book. Well done.
Thank you. And her head was too big for her body. Just like the lazy eye. And when the head was too big for her body is actually in the book. And when I looked at her, I felt uncomfortably warm. We never spoke, but I watched her closely on an overnight class trip to a nature retreat. Gazed as she shook a rain stick and analyzed an owl pellet. And after my parents picked me up early, I had bathed. I spent the next weekend in the guest room at my grandma's house, imagining Anne and me sharing secrets in the dim orange light of a sleepover. I haven't had a crush on a woman since, unless you count my confusing relationship with Shane from the L Word. I've never wanted to be with a woman so much as I wanted to be them. There are women whose career arc excites me, whose ease of expression is impressive, whose mastery of party banter has me simultaneously hostile and rapt. I'm not jealous in traditional ways of boyfriends or babies or bank accounts, but I do covet other women's styles of being. There are two types of women in particular who inspire my envy. The first is the ebullient one, happily engaged from morning until night, able to enjoy things like group lunches, spontaneous vacations to Cartagena and with gangs of girlfriends, and planning other people's baby showers. The bigger existential questions don't seem to plague her, and she can clean her stove without even ever once thinking, what's the point? It just gets dirty again anyway, and then we die. Why don't I just stick in my head ... I wish she would ... My grandma Dottie is this kind of woman. At 95, she still gets her hair done twice weekly. It's always armed with a tube of coral lipstick and offers advice from the love lawn. You have to be positive and just talk with your eyes. She's been teeny tiny her entire life, and once at a military dance in the late 30s, a soldier told her I could eat peanuts off your head, which she took as a massive compliment.
No?
The modern version of this is my friend Deb, who loves trying new exercise classes and is able to write for the same 4 hours every day in the same coffee shop, unconflicted about the creative process. She had a revolving door of casual dinner dates when she was single, before she met her husband and fell in love with him, never once accusing him of not understanding what it feels like to be me. Deb plans regular weekend getaways to sexy, delightful places like Palm Springs and Tulum, and is a master of the logistics of dinner parties and doctor's visits. I didn't know there was logistics to a doctor's visit. You go, tell them what's wrong with you, and they give you medicine.
It depends on how many doctors you're visiting and how many children you're tagging along with.
Oh. Well, if she's designing and planning sexy, delightful weekend getaways, I'm assuming there are no children.
You don't know that. They could have a very efficient nanny.
No nanny is that efficient.
How do you know?
I don't. I'm making an assumption.
You shouldn't make assumptions like that because you don't know.
I can make an assumption if I want.
Fine, it'll make an ass out of you. You ought to know about that.
Ali in the chat with just, she molested her sister. There could be children. It's very true. It's very true.
Please no.
She doesn't seem to worry that she has lupus or cancer. It would be easy for me to jealously dismiss Deb as flighty or superficial, unaware of what's really going on in the world. But Deb's smart, and I told you, I am jealous. The other type of woman that gets me crazy with envy is the beautiful depressive. Oh God. I know it's not good to glamorize depression, But I'm speaking here on a more low-grade melancholy than that would be a massive bummer in your supermarket checkout guy, but works pretty well for a certain kind of long-limbed, lanky-haired, aspiring actress-poet. Those are the women I just want to punch in the face.
Does she know that she's a horrible person?
No, she thinks she's, the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Okay. It's merely curious.
Have you not been able to tell through the entirety of this book that she thinks she's the best thing ever? Like every
I don't
thought
know. She's told us everything else.
One Sunday I was walking around Brooklyn looking for rice pudding.
Because apparently that's something you have trouble finding in Brooklyn?
I wouldn't think that. I mean, there's supermarkets, right? There's corner stores. There's convenience stores.
Is it a specific type of broccoli or rice
pudding?
She's looking for?
It doesn't state. It just says that she's having trouble. She was walking around Brooklyn looking for rice pudding.
I mean, I've seen it on the shelves of the grocery store.
Yeah, there's many different kinds.
Yes. I don't understand her dilemma.
When I ran into the girlfriend of a close male friend of mine. She was jogging, milky legs extended for miles from her retro track shorts. "How are you doing, Lena?" "Oh, Leanne," I asked. She looked at me all sleepy-eyed and, with a Victorian sigh, said, "Shitty." I was so impressed. Who answers that question honestly? Let's say I was on my way to buy a gun with which to kill myself, and I ran into a casual acquaintance who works in PR for H&M. Casual acquaintance. "Hey, what's up? Lena." "Oh, not much. Just going to buy something weird." Giggles. Casual acquaintance. "Long time no see. How you been?" Lena. "Oh, arsi. Life is such a weird thing, Like it's off the wall. I mean, we should get coffee sometime. I'm literally free any time." And that's that little thing.
What was that?
That was her in her head, what she would say to a casual acquaintance who asked her, "How are you doing?" Instead of answering, honestly. She was impressed that the person she was talking to answered a question honestly.
Okay.
As I watched Leanne slow-mo jog home because I'm a creeper, I thought of how effective that routine must be. Leanne is so beautiful and sad. Her boyfriend will spend years going on midnight errands for her, just trying to make her smile. I used to think guys liked it when you're cheerful, adaptable, and quippy. In fact, pouting in front of a nature channel show and forcing them to wonder that what you're thinking after sex is, in most cases, far more effective. That's not how you have a healthy relationship, Lena. That's not how. What am I talking about? This woman loves you to insult her and make her feel bad. Just meeting me will make her orgasm.
Why would you pout in front of a nature program after having sex? If you've had sex, that's good. Shouldn't she be asleep?
It's because they put something on top of her head and made sure that, that she didn't spill it.
What?
She's on her knees, she can't look up, something is on top of her head, so she can't look up and ruin the moment.
I'm with you.
I have been envious of male characteristics, if not the men themselves. I'm jealous of the ease with which they seem to inhabit their professional pursuits, the lack of apologizing, of bending over backward to make sure the people around them are comfortable with what they're trying to do. The fact that they are so often free of the people-pleasing instincts I have considered to be the curse of my female existence. I have watched men order at a diner, ask for shitty wine and extra bread with the confidence I could never muster, and thought, what a treat that must be. That would be male privilege. We actually get a chance to say what we want. Did you know that was male privilege? That you're not allowed to say stuff like that?
I missed that memo.
You're
and I
not
didn't
supposed.
sign that contract.
You know, you're not supposed to ask for what you want when you go to a diner. You are supposed to act a certain way, but men are allowed to do whatever the fuck they want.
I don't give a fuck what I'm supposed to do. If I'm going to a diner, I'm going to order what I want to eat, and if you don't want to watch me eat it, piss off.
But I also considered being female such a unique gift, such a sacred joy, in ways that run so deep I can't articulate them. No, Lena, you can articulate them. You've been articulating it for 131 goddamn pages. That's all I've read is 131 pages. Why does it feel like I'm reading Stephen King's It?
No, that would be more entertaining and less frightening.
Such a sacred joy. In ways that run so deep I can't... Okay. It's a special kind of privilege to be born into the body you wanted, to embrace the essence of your gender, even as you recognize what you are up against, even as you seek to redefine it. I know that when I'm dying, looking back, it will be women that I regret having argued with, women I sought to impress, to understand, was tortured by. Women I wish to see again, to see them smile and laugh and say, it was all as it should have been. Do you ever plan on collecting her soul?
I'm considering no.
So there's a chance that you not doing that is going to have Lena Dunham living forever.
Yes.
Why would you do that to us?
Because I don't want to touch her soul.
But, I mean, why would you do something as horrible as that?
Okay, do you understand that souls do have textures sometimes?
I'm sure her feels like, you know, a sea slug.
No.
There's nothing wrong with
I'm
it
sure
feeling...
it doesn't.
Nothing wrong with it feeling like a sea slug.
Okay, I went to collect her soul after the first time you read it. I reached in to grab it and yank it out, and it was like putting my hand in a bowl of mucus. I'm not touching it again.
Point taken.
Thank you.
In 8th grade, my class took a field trip to Washington, D.C. This is a tradition for 8th grades around the country. The premise being that you will see the monuments, learn about the various branches of government, and enjoy some well-deserved time at Johnny Rockets. The reality is that the day is just a way to get into the night, when the curtains are pulled back to reveal a circus of debauchery that every chaperone wisely chooses to, quote-unquote, sleep through. Students run from room to room of some airport Marriott, their wildest selves unleashed, screaming to be heard over the TVs and rap music and running showers with nobody in them. Sometimes there's booze in a shampoo bottle. Sometimes people kiss in a bathroom. It was on the second night of the trip, as we watched a Drew Barrymore movie on basic cable, that every girl in my suite, Jessica, Maggie, even Stephanie, who had a serious boyfriend, decided to go totally gay. It started with some light kissing on the bed. Then Jessica was topless and shaking her tits, clutching her own nipples and waggling them mercilessly in our faces. Is this something you ladies do?
I've never done that, no.
You just, like, randomly decide that you're going to want to, you know, start going gay for no reason?
I have never done that, no.
Alright. Anyone in the chat done that? Ali, have you done that? Suddenly just start trying to make out with your friends on a sleepover? I was a sheltered dog, frozen with fear. It wasn't that I didn't want to join in. I sort of did. But what if I'd liked it? What if I started and never stopped? How could I turn back? I had no issue with gay people, although you sound like you do. I just didn't want to be one. See, you do have an issue with, gay people. You're kind of homophobic, Lena. There's nothing wrong with being gay. I'm half gay. I was 14. I didn't want to be anything yet. I curled up and, like our math teacher in the room next door, pretended to sleep. I heard about Nellie, a prodigious British playwright whose Wikipedia page said that she was 2 months younger than I. An actor I know had performed in Nellie's only New York production and described her as a Tinkerbell or Annabelle Lee, Or Patty Boyd, right around when she was really fucking shit up for George Harrison. An intellectual with a penchant for deep emotional connection, drunken dancing, vintage coat slung over one shoulder. She doesn't like using the "and" in these goddamn lists that she's supposed to use "and". It's annoying.
Is it?
It is.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Are you done?
No.
Yelling at me.
Oh, yes.
Good. Move on.
$2 NZ. What is NZ? 2 New Zealand dollars?
Yes.
From Scott No Problems. I'm screaming for it to stop. I can't stop. You know what, Scott? If you pay just as much as Ben did to read the book, I will stop. Other than that, unfortunately, I have to keep going. Pictures of Nellie on the internet revealed a pale waif with a mess of bleached hair and an outfit like modern Joan of Arc, all pale rags and androgynous angles. But thank you for the 2 New Zealand dollars. A Google search of Nellie's name was unsatisfying. She didn't have Twitter, a blog, or any other form of personal internet expression. A scant web presence is so rare these days, which, Lena, we wish you actually had. Alluring in and of itself, she was telling her story through the ancient medium of theatre. Months into my Google gumshoe work on Nellie, she appeared at a talk I was doing at the New Yorker Festival. It was a hard crowd to make giggle, and they were full of self-serious questions about race and sexual politics that I answered unsteadily, tired, and underprepared. And now she's using the comma and the "and" wrong. Afterward, I met Nellie in the green room and shook her frail hand and was surprised by how deep her voice was, like an old British man. Her eyes were half closed. That's because she was stoned. Her collar buttoned up as high as it could go. She looked like Keats or Eddie Sedgwick or some other important dead artist. "I'm such a big fan of yours," I told her, having only ever Google image searched her. I had never read a word of her work, but looking into her heart-shaped face, I wanted nothing more than to make a lasting impression. "Hi, I'm Lena," I wanted her to feel, and I like theatre. I like theatre and stoops and parties where people cry. Thank you, she purred. Oh God, is this almost over? Please tell me it's almost over. Almost. When I was 15, my friend Sophia taught me her favourite trick. One that she said drove the boys crazy. We're going to learn something about Lena Dunham. She presented it like it was a complex act that required expert instruction, but really it was just sucking someone's earlobe. She was ahead of me in the sex game, and I tried hard to act like this was something I had gotten up to before. You still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. You're just very, very quiet.
Yes, I know. I'm trying to bribe Plague to give her some kind of disease.
Oh.
Something that will melt her brain.
So apparently there's a conversation going on in the chat. So, Ben said, "Scott, don't worry about it. I'll pay more than you so he could finish reading the book." And then Scott says, "I thought Antoine was evil. You're just a whole other level." Yeah. Ali, you can't turn it down if you've never experienced it. You may like it. It was late, and I could hear my parents' dinner party winding down, people gathering their coats, my father prematurely washing the dishes, his way of signalling that the night was over. Sophia was explaining to me how stupid boys are, how a few tricks could bring them to their knees in a matter of seconds. She was wearing a tight white shirt and stonewashed jeans that cut into the meat of her waist. She had the kind of glossy hair that was always slipping out of its ponytail and permanently reddened skin. She demonstrated on me, on the mattress in my quote-unquote office, actually a crawl space off my bedroom where we kept crafting supplies in a litter box. Well, at least we know she knew where to go to the bathroom. I could feel the tips of her teeth and then my pulse in my vagina. You know, from the beginning of this chapter, she said she only had one real experience with a girl. We have yet to get to it, and she has apparently had many experiences with girls. It's not necessarily it's not like giving you a wet willy, Ali. I said Ali Torah at the same time, and it came out Allah. It's not a wet willy. It's, you know, it's nibbling, it's biting. Yeah, there's probably some sucking if they're doing it right.
Scott wants to know how much he would have to pay to make you read the book ASMR.
$100. Because that means I have to read it slowly and quieter.
In a calm, even voice.
Yes. Which means
Can you do that?
What, a calm, even voice?
While reading that book.
I can try.
He says to give him a week.
Well, you have till next week then. Same time. 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Yeah, I'll read the first paragraph and try and do an ASMR. I am going to London, all alone. I haven't been to London since age 14. When I was angry, my mother forced me to ride a Ferris wheel, and even angrier because I liked it. How was that?
I'm turned off, actually.
It's because it's Lena Dunham. Unsure of how to use this time, I decided to email Nellie, whose work I have now read and found as impressive and impenetrable as her person. When Nellie replies, she calls me darling girl. I suggest tea, but she'd rather have a drink and says she'll come round to pick me up at 5:30. She emails to tell me she'll be late, then again to say that she's early. When I find her in the lobby, she's wearing slim leather pants and a long black coat. Her purse looks like a pirate's treasure sack. There's a sex joke there, I think.
I'm assuming it's something to do with male genitalia.
Yeah, ball sack joke.
No. Keep going.
Alright, our first stop is the social club she belongs to, down the block and underground. A wood-panelled, dusty room, low ceilings, and cigarettes smoked inside. Nellie orders red wine, so I do. Fiddling nervously with the strings of my purse, she introduces me to various wildish characters and mentions Aristotle, Isben, and George Michael in one breath. The last one is her neighbour. She orders us new glasses of wine before I'm done with my first, then realizes that we're late for our dinner reservation at Jay Shiki. She leads me through the West End by the hand, tells me this restaurant is where her parents would always take her if she made good grades or needed a talking to. She tells me about secret affairs and secret passageways. She loves walking, does miles every day. At Jay Shiki, a fancy old fish restaurant where they systematically ask whether you're trying to make it to the theatre engagement before you sit down. She orders expertly white wine and tiny fried fishes and other things I'm squeamish about eating, but when they come, they are purely delicious. Like butter or syrup. My face is getting warm, and I may already be sharing too much. I suppose... No, you don't say 135 pages, and you don't say you're sharing too much. I'm supposed to have drinks with friends in an hour, but she begs me to cancel and come back to her house. It's an unusual place, and I want you to meet everyone, and everyone wants to meet you. In the cab to her house, we talk. about why we write, what its purpose is when she says the world is full of so much shit we can't fix. And in a place where we'd want to live, or at least can at least understand, she nods satisfied. You're really smart. I realized I've never talked to anyone else about these, much less a woman my own age. I've never talked to anyone my own age about anything beyond ambition. Technique, passion, philosophy, we don't touch any of that. She asks me my worst quality, and I say I can be very self-involved. You don't fucking say. She says hers is that she gets lost in the world of her work and can't find a way back out again. The city is changing from bustling metropolis to tree-lined streets and grand houses with only a few lights on. Google British lawns if you want to know what I'm talking about. When we reached her house, we step out into the wet night. The cobblestones are hard to navigate in heels, and I cling to Nellie's arm. I am sure I've never been any place like this. It has the grandeur of a fairy tale and the grit of a Mike Leigh movie. I breathe in wet street and distant smoke. I guess she paid for the cab. She opens the door into a library that looks like a set from an episode of Masterpiece Theatre. Aged books scattered everywhere. They even spill out of a fireplace. Hello, she calls out. A deranged French bulldog bounds down the grand staircase, baring her teeth. Oh, come on, Robbie. A girl wearing animal ears hops out from a secret door. She greets me with a hug. I'm going to read that again because I don't think I caught that. A girl wearing animal ears hops out from a secret door. She greets me with a hug, and I follow them to a living room where 4 or 5 roommates congregate over a bottle of red wine. Each is introduced to me as an actor or a literature student or both. Her sister, another imp with impossibly well thought out hair, has a funny phlegmy laugh. I know I shouldn't drink anymore, or should at least temper it with a few handfuls of the crisps they are passing around. No one can explain how they came to live here. Nellie hops up, discarding her coat while announcing that it's freezing. Let me show you around, she says.
Okay.
I take in every detail of the house like I'm 6 again and reading a picture book, scanning the illustrations carefully. Next to the marble fireplace lies an issue of Elle, a torn thigh-high stocking, an empty pack of Marlboros, a half-eaten pudding cup, and each room leads to another, like one of those New York real estate dreams where you open a hidden door and discover massive rooms you didn't even know you had. I spill some of my wine down the front of my dress. Nellie's bedroom contains a freestanding clawfoot tub, and I eye all of her books and clippings with a pathetic level of interest. Nellie says she spent all of yesterday in bed with an off-limits woman recovering from a night that undid her. I tell her again how much I love her work, which I really do. She works with themes, memes, metaphors. Uses formal tricks beyond my grasp. Thank you, she says. Back in the living room, they've started blasting old-school rap, and my glass has been refilled. I can't sit without my skirt riding up. Jenna, a pretty girl known for playing Anne Frank on the West End, gives Nellie a fat kiss on the mouth and says, "Hello, I'm home." I feel most warmly towards Aidan, a former child actor of ambiguous sexuality who has the soft delivery of a boy working in a flower shop. What the fuck is she talking about?
I've no idea.
They are teaching me all sorts of new British terms, such as Larry, which means rowdy, or drunkenly mischievous, and they use it in all sorts of contexts for me. I got pretty Larry after a few drinks, and next thing I know I was hanging from the chandelier. They refill my glass and then refill it again. We are laughing at faces and sounds and objects. Then suddenly everything goes in waves, and my vision narrows in a way that can only mean vomit.
Are you done with this chapter yet?
Almost.
How much longer?
2 1/8 pages. As soon as I announce it, it's happening. A torrent released on the henceforth intact cream carpet. Ew. I feel a hot, acidic remains of my dinner running down my chin and hitting the floor. And I'm too sick to be self-conscious. It's too much of a relief to care that every English treat I have eaten that day, along with the glass upon glass of red wine, is now decorating their floor. Nellie pats my head, cooing endearments. I rear up, look around. Everyone is just where I left them except Aiden, who reappears with a broom and a dustpan that he uses to sweep up my bath like it's packing peanuts or hair trimmings. He insists he does this all the time. I'm still not embarrassed. Nellie moves in close to me. This is going to be gross. You have such a beautiful face, she tells me after I have just bathed all over her floor. Such amazing eyes. You're so fit. We're talking about Lena Dunham, right? Are you kidding? I slur. You're a perfect looking creature and so smart, and I feel like I understand you. She holds my face, panting like we're out in a snowstorm. Her eyes grow huge, and without words I understand. She knows I understand what is missing. Someone is gone. She beats her chest with a tight fist, but it hurts so much you can't believe how much it hurts. I know, I tell her, and for that moment I do. I know, you're so brave. She lies down next to me. We're face to face now. Jenna is dancing over us, laughing, having stripped down to only a sports bra. It's hard to talk about, she says. I love knowing you. I squeeze her. I feel as though I've never felt another person's pain more deeply. I imagine my breath is terrible, but I also imagine she doesn't mind things like that. That's disgusting. And I don't mind when she blows smoke in my face. I rustle her hair, my own, hers again. I didn't think she'd kiss me, but I didn't think she wouldn't either. I said I was leaving an hour before I actually left, and in the cab home I clutched a piece of paper with her number on it and thought about how I hadn't gotten to see her pond. The next morning, I sleep until almost 3 p.m., lulled by the sound of cabs pulling up to my hotel in the rain. I have meetings in the afternoon and am determined not to tell anyone I vomited, but sharing is my first instinct, and I offer it up 10 minutes into the first professional engagement of the day. I nurse a single cup of tea until around 6 p.m. I'm ready to eat the crust of pot pie. I pull out my phone and start scrolling through images the night before, none of which have a memory of taking. In one, Aiden menaces the camera, blurry. In another, Jenna kisses my sweaty face. In a few, Nellie's cigarettes waved wildly, threatening to set fire to her house. In others, we are face to face, eyes closed, our hands are clasped.
It's vaguely creepy.
Yeah, just a little bit. If you look carefully, you can see in the upper left-hand corner the purple spectre of my vomit. I don't know why you would tell someone, professional people, you puked.
Are you going to do a special reading of...
$5 from Ben Cooper. Are you going to do a special reading of this?
No, what's wrong with you?
No.
Can we be done now?
I am almost done. I have two paragraphs left.
You have exactly 1 minute before I leave.
I kissed 3 girls in college, all at once. 3 straight girls were experimenting with universal love in the corner at a party, so to benefit Palestinian rights, and when they offered me membership, I took it. We went around in a circle, taking turns kissing for just long enough to get the sense of one another's mouths. They felt soft and tickly to me, minus the hard edges and rough bits I was still getting used to on boys. Afterwards, we laughed. None of my 8th grade fears had come true. I was not, suddenly, the militant lesbian leader of a motorcycle gang, nor was I ashamed. I didn't even flinch when a photo of me, mid-lip lock with a girl named Helen, surfaced in the art building, part of a boy named Cody's Nan Golden-inspired thesis. Later, alone in bed, and almost over the nausea of my hangover, I zoomed in the picture of Nellie and me, the uncropped version, that is. Conspiratorial, sickly, lost girls on a good sofa. If I was a slightly different person, I'd have had many nights like this, a hard drive full of these images. I may hate the term girl crush, but a picture does not lie. It has the quality of an image taken by a ghost hunter, revealing floaters and spirits that the participants had been unable to see. Yeah, Ellie, she went from I puked on a girl's floor to I kissed 3 girls at once. And that's it. That's all I'm doing.
Thank God.
So, since it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen, if you have nothing better to do and you want a really, really good show, click that link that Antihero just shared for the Afterburn. It's a great show. He's highly entertaining. It's also a call-in show, if I believe it or not. So if you want to talk to him or do something else, watch the Afterburn, raid his chat, and have some fun. Alright, so Sarah, Ben brought up something very interesting. He brought up...
work on Valentine's Day? I'm not going to be here for that. I'm going to be anywhere but here.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about.
What?
Well, you know what Valentine's Day is, don't you?
Yes, it's the day I spend most of it trying to kill Eros, that cheeky little bastard.
Well, instead of doing that, would you like to go to dinner with me?
What, like a date?
Yeah, why not?
Why? No, I mean, what? Not. Why would I want to go with you? Why would you want to ask me on a date?
Why not?
That's a question.
I mean, as far as I can tell, you're single, I'm single.
Alright. Yes.
Alright then, it's a date.
Good.
Shut up, Antihero.
So... Great, I need to go find something to wear now.
Oh. Alright. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for Army of Snarkness. My name, of course, is Antoine the Great, and I've been joined by my lovely co-host, the Rider...
Don't lie.
What?
Don't lie.
You're a lovely co-host.
I'm not going to wear nothing, Antihero.
Oh. My lovely co-host, the Rider of Death, Sarah. I guess the reason we're not going to be doing a show next week is because we're going to be busy. So, thank you for joining us. I hope you join us next time. Like I said, if you've got nothing you want to do, go ahead and watch Antihero. Subscribe to him if you can. And, I guess we'll see you all next time. Have a good night. Have a good night, everyone.